I, like many of you probably are, am very excited for Cold War Zombies, and with each new installment, it's easy for us to daydream and become hopeful for the next Call of Duty experience. With this excitement and energy surrounding the release of each game, I have found it incredibly beneficial to manage expectations and have a realistic outlook on how it usually plays out. So how does it usually play out? Well, starting around the announcement of the beta, things start looking incredibly positive. Developers focus on what players wanted to see from previous installments, which usually results in a lot of positive feedback. Continuing this pattern, we have the release of the beta, where there are frequent, often daily updates and changes to the game to keep it fresh. Not to mention there is usually a blog post or Reddit post from a developer that keeps the community engaged and in positive spirits. This is a pattern we've seen from each developer since Black Ops 3. This leads us to the release of the game, where we see a continuation of the above-average communication between the community and the developer. Even during the troubled release that was Black Ops 4, Treyarch did release several patches within the first few weeks, alongside posts on Reddit discussing what they were actively looking at and working on at the time.
Each individual issue on their own isn't a problem, but it's the fact that all of them are there that make me so frustrated that this game is broken. However, there were patch notes that literally dropped 15 minutes ago.
Yep.
Like I had this title and everything set up like 2 hours ago. Like before the patch notes. So the show is not as doom and gloom right now, but we're going to get into that in a little.
First of all, can we say that this is like 2 days, 3 days after the official launch and Treyarch patched their game? I thought we would just be getting upcoming patch notes for the week. No, they actually changed it 2-3 days after the game. It's fantastic. Let's go over patch notes and see what they've changed.
And this pattern makes sense. The developers are trying to both sell the product they just made and give reassurance to the community that their issues with the game are being heard and taken care of as soon as possible. A lot of people take this as the developers only caring about selling the product, and while that may be a part of the reason there is this hyper-focus earlier in the game's lifecycle, I wholeheartedly believe that the developers are genuine in their efforts to make the game as best as they can. All that being said, a few weeks past the release of the game, we start to see a noticeable decline in consistent communication from the developers. Once again, this happens every year. It's not exclusive to any studio or developer. It just seems that's the way things are. In terms of gameplay, this is where we need to be level-headed and hold on to our realistic expectation. Every time a game is released, it is released in the worst state it is ever going to be in. No, this isn't a problem with the developers or the Call of Duty development cycle, although those do certainly play a part. Rather, this is just how things will logistically play out. No matter how much playtesting or data the developers try to discover in-house, releasing their product to hundreds of thousands of people will statistically uncover more bugs and issues than previously discovered. And this problem isn't just a problem with your least favorite titles either. Obviously, everyone can point to Black Ops 4's disastrous release and claim that Treyarch or Activision was being negligent with its release. However, let's remember that World War II's new social place, the headquarters, that was hyped up before launch, wasn't available to everyone until weeks after release. Black Ops 3 wasn't free of this situation either. Let me remind you how frequently Margwa spawned in Shadows of Evil, how long each ritual took, and do you remember there wasn't a shared inventory in co-op? Don't forget how terrible the Wunderwaffe was on the Giant, how pathetic Deadwire was, and let's not forget the death sentence crouching would become if you got hit. I'm not trying to discourage anyone from being excited for the game. Merely, I'm trying to bring a realistic outlook on what we can expect as a community. The game is going to be released, we are going to be excited, the communication from the developer is going to be fantastic to start out with. While the game may be unbalanced and broken in some big and some small ways, eventually, those immediate issues will be worked out. And then a few weeks or months after release, the communication will decrease and the life cycle will continue on as it does each and every year. I am incredibly excited for Cold War Zombies. The release of a new Call of Duty is one of my favorite times of the year. The game is not going to be perfect, nor the developers going to make the best decisions at the best times. The developers are full of people just trying their best to do the best job they know how to do. Please, have patience, be kind, treat others how you would want to be treated, and stay beautiful.